Awesome. Welcome to the weekly training session for the Business Owner Savings System, otherwise known as BOSS. I am super excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in. So this is supposed to be an open forum all about you. If you watched last week, it was all about Al, because Alfred had questions. So, and he was the vocal one who chimed in. So he was the one who got questions answered. All of you are obviously at different points in your development. Some of you are brand new. Some of you have been around for months or years. Some of you are working up to getting through the steps in the training program to get to the point where you get your first deal. And some of you have been doing this for a long time and doing deals every single month. So obviously we gear the content towards whoever has the most questions, which is most of the time usually the newer folks. But you never know, even if you've been doing this for years, I might say something, you might pick something up, it might inspire an idea that works for you. So if you're going through the membership program that I created for you, in addition to the 4 videos that Stride gives you, my daily one, where hopefully you're doing something every day, you're watching a 5 or 10 minute video, it's a bite-sized chunk, and you're doing the couple exercises it gives you, which don't take that long, less than half an hour usually, sometimes 10 minutes. Then you are making forward progress, building that momentum, getting towards your first sale, which is a monumentous occasion. And then like when you get the first client, it's super exciting. And then even better, when they get the first commission check, that'll really get you hooked and make you want to do a lot. But let's get you to your first appointment. If you're newer, let's see, who am I going to pick on today to be our volunteer slash guinea pig? Let's see what we've got. Let's see here. Who wants to go first? Let's see. Who am I pick on? Al was all last week, so I'm not going to pick on Al again. Let's see. Fred, congratulations. Fred is brand new. Signed up, I believe, yesterday. Way to go, Fred. Then we've got Mark, we've got Brian. Let's see who else we've got who's working their way through the program. Let's help out our newer folks first. As always, let's look at who we've got who's recent. Let's see, we've got Vic, we've got Brian, we've got Barbara, we've got Mark, we've got Carolyn, we've got Mary. Al was all last week. We got Fred and we got Carla. All right. So who would like to ask a question? Who wants to go first? Type your questions in the chat box. Hey, Carla, you want to go first? I know. Why don't we talk a little bit? I can either let you come on camera or via audio, and you can ask your questions, or you can type them in the chat box, whichever works for you. Carla, I'm picking on Carla today. Let's see here. Carla, would you rather be on audio, video, or type? Waiting for Carla's the lucky winner. I can do audio if you want. Awesome. I will allow you to talk. There you go. All right, now you've got to unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Seth.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. So actually, I can't think of any question right now. I'm kind of new. I think 2 weeks in the program. I'm just trying to go over all the videos and also trying to understand how the programs work. There's so much information available that is kind of overwhelming.
Yes.
I'm sure it's just at the beginning when we're trying to figure out how this is supposed to be. So I just, at this point, I'm just trying to finish all your videos to get a better idea of what my next step should be. And
Awesome.
I guess just getting trying to build some confidence to go outside and start offering what the program has to offer.
Awesome. So the concerns and questions you just shared are totally normal. Everybody has the same one. So everybody who is at the same point as you has the exact same concerns. So I appreciate you bringing them up, because everybody else who hasn't said them is probably feeling exactly the same way. So I'm looking at your account in my membership program. You've downloaded the app, the calculator app, which you've got on a phone or a tablet. You've played with it. You found your 3 or 4 different websites that you can use for lead generation. You've learned how to get your 20 leads a month. You've got a couple Doodle explainer videos. And then obviously you're registered here for office hours in the monthly mastermind group, and you've saved my email. And then you've got email scripts and LinkedIn messages I gave you. So you're going through the bonus modules next. But at this point, what you're going to do is you know enough, hopefully, to be dangerous, and that you could take your 20 leads and cut and paste some emails and send them some emails, and you could find them on LinkedIn, connect to them on LinkedIn, and send them the same messages on LinkedIn to hopefully generate your first appointment. Do you feel like you could cut and paste the emails and send it to those people?
Yes, I certainly can do that. It's just what follows that what I'm
Yes.
most scared of. Like, oh,
Perfect.
now I have an appointment, or
Now what do you do?
Now what I do exactly.
Okay, so on the, you know what, that brings up an excellent point, and shame on me for not doing a separate training video, which I will do, how to have your first appointment. Okay, so I'll put, it'll take me a little while to record that and do the scripting that I use in my appointments. But I will absolutely create another step that does that, because if you have that question, other people do.
It's kind of a real life example of the complete process. Like,
okay, so
email, then you get the appointment, then how to handle the appointment, and then what comes next. Because it's also, I know we have all this back office that is going to do all the work.
yes.
But if we get questions like what exactly is all that work, and how's the the flow of that process, so we have a better idea of what to expect, or the client can expect.
Okay, I think that is awesome. I will work on training for that, but we're going to play a little bit with that now, because we can talk about it now so that you have some idea of what you're doing right away, as opposed to waiting the next week and a half for me to create a new training video, because I'll be out of town next week. So let's talk about that right now. So let's say hypothetically that you've sent emails and LinkedIn messages, and the person says, yes, I'd like to take you up on your offer to find out how much money you can save me. Mm-hmm. So then your next step would be scheduling that appointment, and that's either you could do it over the phone, you could do it via, I would suggest Zoom, this video chat, if you're comfortable with it, so that they can see and hear you, you can see and hear them, and they can see your screen. Mm-hmm. But if you're camera shy, you could just do the audio only on this, so you don't have to worry about the camera. And then one of my favorite parts about Zoom is then you can record the call. And if you record it and send it to me, I'll listen to the whole thing and I'll critique it and give you pointers on improving the process.
Okay.
So I would say first do the call on Zoom, or if you're doing it in person because they're local, I would just take like a little voice recorder, either that you can get for $20 at Staples, or if you have a smartphone, like the iPhone has it's loading on my computer, has a voice memo app. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Android does too, that comes with the phone, that you just hit record and it'll record record your in-person conversation as if they're on a speakerphone. So I would definitely do that. I would record it. And then here's what you're going to do. I would say, so on that time, the person gets on the call, you say, hey, I'll get you a formal script, But the basic idea is, hey, congratulations, you made a really smart decision to see how much money we can save you. I just want to assure you there's no obligation and there's no cost for this process. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, probably 8 or 9 questions about your business. I'm going to fill in the numbers, and then we'll be able to calculate for you on the spot a rough guess, a rough estimate as to how much money we can save you. Once we give you that number, we'll break down what areas of your business that savings is going to come from. And then you can decide if you want to find out more about how we save you that money with doing another call with myself in my back office. But again, there's no cost or obligation for that call either. Does that make sense? So now you've created what, if you've ever read, Sandler's sales training, you've now created what Sandler called an upfront agreement. They've agreed yes, they're going to answer their questions to get you the number. And then they're going to decide at the end of that, they know at the end of the call, you're asking them, hey, do you want to do the second call to get the process moving? During that, then after they say, yes, that sounds good. Here, I'll share. That's when you're running the app. Yeah. So you're going to, just like you practice, you're going to add a new client. You're going to type in their information, name, business name, email, phone number, whatever that is that it asks you. And you could even do that ahead of time if you knew you had the call scheduled. I would honestly add that already so that you are ready to go and they don't need to watch you fill out their info. And then you're running them through the questions that you own, which you've hopefully done on yourself or on a fictional client to see how it works. You're going to answer all those questions. Now, they may not know some of the numbers. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. If they say, I don't remember what I paid, I don't know what my property taxes are. Okay, can you give me some type of rough guesstimate, and then we can fine tune the numbers later. I would always try and get something from them, and then obviously tell them, listen, this isn't going to be 100% accurate until we get those final numbers, but I want to give you an idea as to how much money we might be able to save you. So they say, sure, okay. They answer these as best as they can. They may not know how many employees they're going to hire. They may say, I would say, do you have an idea? Do you want to say you're going to hire 3, 5, 7, 27, 0? You may not have any positions open right now, but how many did you hire last year? Is it possible that some of those people will flake out? Let's be conservative and go on a lower number to make them feel better. Again, some of these numbers they may have to check, or they may have to give you, in which case they may go run over, they may go pull up a tax return. They may say, I got to talk to my accountant and get back to you, in which case you say, okay, let's do some type of guess, and then we'll fine tune it before our next call, assuming that happens. And then it spits out the number at the end. It breaks it through each one of the areas. And then the question is, do you want to set up the next call with my back office team to talk about how specifically we can save you that money and what we're going to need going forward? Again, remember, Mr. Prospect, you're only going to pay us a percentage of the savings. You're not going to pay us a dime until the money's back in your pocket. And you're not going to pay us, if we can't save you at least $10,000, the savings that we do generate are free and we won't charge you. There's literally no risk to you. Do you want to go ahead and set up that time now? And let's set it for a week or 2 out so that you can get me the information from your accountant from wherever, and I'll fine tune this before that call. And then again, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, they should say, sure, that's fine. And then you're just going to book a call with the calendar, and then you're going to make sure that you can be on that call with them. Again, you can conference in. You don't have to physically be in the same location, but if they're local and you want to, you can call in together sitting in their office. It's probably better in their office than in yours, because if the folks in our back office have follow-up questions on the numbers and they're sitting in your office, they're not going to be able to pull up that information unless you're their accountant and you have that info. it may make sense to do it in their office where they have easy, hopefully, access to that information. So the whole goal of the first appointment is get them a number of how much, use the app to get them some type of number as to how much they can save, and then hopefully book the second call where then we'll do, we'll go over the numbers with them and then talk about how the process works, and then present them with paperwork to sign saying, hey, I agree to pay X% commission on each of these savings in each of these areas. So they're committing to get the paperwork and do the work. And then they're obviously committing to pay for it, which of course is ultimately how you're going to get paid when the money comes through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Okay. So again, you're not doing
than that we try to do it, but
yeah, you're not doing any of the heavy lifting. You're just running the app, coming up with some type of number, and then, hey, do you want to set up a call to find out more? It should be, it's the lowest pressure sales process I've ever done, as opposed to us selling marketing clients or us selling college planning clients. It's literally the whole, hey, it's 120 grand. Do you want that money back or not? Do you want to do another call to find out how you harvest those savings? And your close rate should be pretty high of people going, yeah, I do want to take the next step and find out how to save that money.
Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see yourself doing, I'll do a literal role play, video. I'll type up a formal script, again, but it's going to be basically, that's the gist of it. And then I'll add that as another step that you can go through in the training program. And for everybody who's already passed the first 5 or 6 steps, I'll send you the video and the script separately, because you can't go back to a step you already did. And it'll probably be one of the first couple steps, right after the app step, so that you kind of know what you're doing. But I'll make sure you have that video separately so you can watch it as many times as you want. Other thoughts, comments, or concerns, since today is Carla Day?
Yeah, just for that script or something to add to that is, what are the typical questions that someone could ask you during that first interview?
Yep.
Because if they ask like a little bit about maybe the company or I don't know, about each specific credit.
Yes.
What are my answers? I don't want to look like I have no idea of I can do the app, but what is the question?
Okay, so I will type those up too. You're absolutely right. That's a great point. Like if they ask how long is a cost seg, or what is it, or how does that work, or do I have to switch credit card providers? I will type all of those. I'll come up with a list of frequently asked questions from my own experience doing this. And then I'll put out an email to all of our members who have done at least one deal and say, hey, what were some of the questions that you got? And then I'll add all of those as well, so that you were prepared with answers to all of them. They're not many. It's probably like 5 to 10 questions. And the answers are usually like a sentence or two. So it's nothing complicated that you're going to have to memorize or know. But again, it'll be like the workman's, hey, do I have to switch credit card processors? No, you don't. We have enough leverage that if we call them and ask them to lower their fees, usually they listen. And then if they won't listen, then we have another conversation about, do you want to switch processors to save the money? Or, hey, are you doing all this work? No, we have a back office filled with accountants and engineers who've been doing this for, 30 years and have saved over $500 million. So I'll type all those up and I'll get those all over to everybody, because that is also a great pointer. I really appreciate you suggesting that, Carla, because if you're thinking it, other people have thought it and just haven't said it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That will be super helpful.
Okay. You are 2 for 2. You're kicking butt. You got a third one before we wrap up, because it's almost noon on my clock?
Not right now.
Okay, that's awesome. Those I'm sure will be really helpful, not only for you, but for everybody else. Again, next Wednesday, there's no call because I will be at a high-level mastermind learning more cool marketing stuff for you in Austin, Texas. I will probably type the scripts and all the FAQs on the plane so that I can record that as soon as I get back. And then obviously you have this recording, and then I'll do the recording of the role play video. And you know what, I will also probably record my next call. I'll air the recording of my next prospecting interview with the next business owner that we work with, so that you have that as well and you can watch me do it live.
That sounds awesome.
Okay. I will thank you for the homework. I really appreciate it. I will get to work on all of that. And I will get that over to everybody as soon as it's done.
Okay.
That is on my list. Carla, you have been incredibly helpful today. Thank you so much. I am glad you were here and I got to answer your questions, which are probably everyone else's too. I will get to work on that. And then I will get that over to everybody and we can go over it. Let's see, we can go over all of that by October 30th, which will be the next time we're live here.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Carla, and everybody else who's watching.